Have you ever stopped to think about why your life seems so much harder than it should be? Why is there so much suffering, so much resistance, so much struggle in everything you try to do? While everyone around you seems to be living on autopilot, you feel like you're carrying an invisible weight on your back. Like every step is a battle. Today I'm going to tell you something that Helena Blavatsky discovered over a century ago, and that the ancient mystery schools guarded as the most dangerous secret of all. Earth is not an ordinary planet. This place here is literally the last cosmic laboratory where souls go through the most extreme test of evolution. And look, we're not here by accident. We're here because we failed elsewhere, or because we voluntarily chose the most brutal path of spiritual ascension that exists in the universe. What you're about to discover will completely change the way you see your own existence. Blavatsky, through ancient documents and direct knowledge she received from the masters of the Himalaya, revealed that current humanity is living the final chapter of a cycle that has been repeating for millions of years. And this time, the experiment is coming to an end. Either we evolve now, or we lose our definitive chance. And there are very concrete signs that you may be among those who were chosen to go through this consciously. Let me ask you a very direct question. Do you feel different from other people? I'm not talking about thinking you're special or superior, but that deep feeling of not belonging to this world, of looking around and thinking that people are living on a completely different frequency than yours. This feeling isn't psychological, and it's certainly not something you made up in your head. It's a sign of spiritual memory. Blavatsky explains in the teachings of the secret doctrine that certain souls carry fragments of incarnations on other planets and dimensions. You've already lived in places where matter was less dense, where communication was telepathic, where the violence and struggle that exist here didn't exist, and when you descend into Earth's density, a violent shock happens. It's as if you came from a place where you could fly and suddenly woke up with your body trapped in concrete. That lightness, that freedom, that direct connection with everything that exists simply disappeared, and you spend your whole life trying to find again what your soul knows, but your mind can't remember. That's why you feel displaced. That's why superficial conversations drain you. That's why you can't get excited about the same things that excite everyone else. It's not depression. It's not antisocial. It's memory. Your soul knows it has already experienced something much greater than this here, and it doesn't accept settling for less. Now, this raises an important question. If you've already been in better places, why the hell are you here? Why would you choose to come to the hardest, densest, most painful planet that exists? And this is where things get heavy. Earth was configured as a prison or as a school, depending on the perspective of who's looking. Blavatsky was very clear about this. This planet was intentionally designed with the highest possible level of resistance. It's not punishment in the sense of divine punishment, but it's the last chance for souls that need extreme conditions to finally awaken. Think about it. If you have a child who doesn't learn at all through conversation, through example, through affection, there comes a time when only a really strong experience will make them understand. Right? Earth works like that, only on a cosmic scale. The spiritual hierarchies that Blavatsky describes, these advanced beings who supervise evolution, they established this planet as the final training ground. You know those army movies where soldiers go through the most brutal training possible? Earth is that, but for souls. And the interesting thing is that this place is different from anywhere else in the cosmos precisely because of this extreme density. On other planets and dimensions, you evolve through light, love, natural expansion. Here on Earth, you evolve through pressure, pain, friction. It's like the difference between learning to swim in a heated pool with floaties and learning by being thrown into the middle of the ocean during a storm. Both methods teach, but one of them produces a type of strength that the other will never achieve. And look at the truth. You're here because at some level, your soul decided it needed this strength, either because you failed at the gentler methods or because you wanted to accelerate your evolution once and for all. But there's more. Blavatsky revealed something that many people in the spiritual community completely ignore. Humanity goes through 7 great cycles, 7 root races as she calls them, and we're in the 5th race, which is the point of greatest danger and greatest opportunity at the same time. The previous races failed. The first race was practically etheric, without dense physical form. The second began to materialize. The third, which lived in Lemuria, was destroyed because it plunged too deep into matter and completely lost the spiritual connection. The fourth race, the Atlantean, developed incredible psychic powers but used all of it for power, control, and manipulation, and was also destroyed. We are the 5th race, the Aryan race, and we're at the most critical moment of this entire cycle. You know why? Because this is the race of the turning point. This is where humanity needs to perfectly balance matter and spirit. It can no longer escape to the etheric like the first race did, and it can't blindly plunge into matter like the third did. It needs to master both. And look, most people are failing miserably at this task. They're completely lost in material illusion, thinking that life is just working, consuming, reproducing, and dying. They have no idea that there's a much bigger game happening. You who are watching up to this point, you're probably not one of these people. You feel there's something more. You seek. You question. But let me tell you something. Seeking isn't enough. There are millions of people seeking, reading spiritual books, meditating, attending retreats, and they remain stuck in exactly the same place. Why? Because they haven't understood how the veil works. Blavatsky spent years studying this, and what she discovered is frightening. The dense matter of Earth is not natural. It was intentionally intensified to create maximum forgetfulness. On other planets, when you incarnate, you keep at least part of your spiritual memory. You remember who you are, where you came from, what your purpose is. Here on Earth, 0. You're born completely amnesic, with no idea about anything. And this is not an accident, it's by design. The material veil was designed to blind you completely. When you descend into a physical body here, it's like putting a blindfold on your spiritual eyes and lead plugs in your inner ears. The physical reality that you perceive through the 5 senses is literally less than 1% of what really exists. There are layers upon layers of reality happening simultaneously, and you see nothing. You think the world is solid because you touch things and they seem solid. But Blavatsky explains, and modern quantum physics confirms that there is no solidity at all. Everything is energy vibrating at different frequencies, but the veil makes you perceive only the densest, slowest, most limited frequency. It's like you're watching an incredible movie, but you can only see 1 pixel of the screen. You have no idea what you're missing. And the worst part, this veil doesn't just keep you ignorant, it keeps you obedient. When you don't remember who you really are, when you completely identify with the physical body and the temporary personality, you become a perfect slave of the material system. You work, pay bills, consume, seek temporary pleasures, run from pain, and think that's life. Meanwhile, your soul is screaming deep down, trying to wake you up, but you can't hear because of the noise of the physical world. Now you might be thinking, but if this is so terrible, who would do such a thing? Who's conducting this whole experiment? And here we get to a part that might be hard to swallow, but it's essential that you understand. We're not alone in this. There are superior intelligences far beyond humanity, supervising everything. Blavatsky had direct contact with some of them, the ascended masters who live in the Himalaya and in other hidden places in the world. She called them Mahatmas, the great beings. These masters are part of a much larger planetary hierarchy. There are the Kumaras, who are the lords of Venus who came to Earth millions of years ago to accelerate human evolution. There are the Lipikas, the lords of karma who record every action, every thought, every intention of every being. There are the Dhyan Chohans, cosmic intelligences operating at levels that the human mind can't even conceive. And all of them are watching, guiding, interfering when necessary to ensure that the experiment continues. But look, Don't romanticize this. These beings are not your personal friends worried about your comfort. They are cosmic scientists conducting a long-term experiment. They want you to evolve, yes, but within the terms of the experiment. If you fail, you failed. They're not going to come down to rescue you. Some of these beings, the most advanced ones, even decided to incarnate here on Earth to help and to accelerate their own development too. Because you know what's interesting? Even for very evolved beings, incarnating on Earth is a challenge. The density here teaches things that can't be learned anywhere else. And this brings me to something very important you need to know about yourself. Not everyone is here for the same reason. There are people who are here because they need to be, because it's the next natural step in their evolution. These people generally live normal lives, don't question much, go with the flow. But there's another group, a smaller group of souls who came voluntarily, who accepted to incarnate on Earth exactly at this critical moment, knowing how difficult it would be, because they chose to be part of the closing of this cycle. How do you know if you're part of this group? There are signs. First, you've always felt older than your age. Even as a child, you had a seriousness, a depth that didn't make sense. People commented that you seemed like an old soul. Second, you have a natural resistance to authorities and systems. You can't just accept things because someone told you to. You need to understand for yourself. Third, you've gone through disproportionate suffering in your life. I'm not talking about normal little problems, but experiences that completely broke you and forced you to rebuild everything from scratch several times. Fourth, you have episodes of intense déjà vu, vivid dreams that seem like memories, and a constant feeling of looking for something but not knowing exactly what. Fifth, you feel a sense of urgency, like time is running out, like you have something important to do but no one ever told you what it is. If you identified with 3 or more of these signs, it's quite likely that you're a voluntary soul. And this means you have a mission here, even if you don't know what it is yet. But let's talk about something no one likes to admit. Suffering here is different from anywhere else. It's not just physical pain when you hurt your body. It's not just emotional pain when you lose someone or go through a disappointment. Suffering on Earth has a unique density. It's a pain that reaches deep layers of the soul, that corrodes, that exhausts, that makes you question whether it's even worth continuing to exist. And you know the worst part? This is intentional. Blavatsky explains that extreme suffering on Earth was calibrated exactly for this purpose. Only through absurd pressure can certain souls break through their final limitations. It's like a diamond being formed. You take carbon, which is a common substance, and apply extreme pressure and heat for millions of years. What do you have in the end? The hardest and most valuable substance that exists in nature. Without the pressure, carbon remains carbon. With pressure, it becomes diamond. Your soul works the same way. While you're comfortable, while things are flowing well, you don't really evolve. You can even accumulate knowledge. You can read books, take courses, meditate every day. But real transformation, that deep change that really elevates you to another level of consciousness, that only happens when you're crushed by life, when you lose everything, when you hit rock bottom and have to choose between giving up or rebuilding yourself in a completely new way. If you look at your life and realize you've gone through intense cycles of destruction and reconstruction, this isn't bad luck. This isn't the universe conspiring against you. It's exactly the opposite. It's confirmation that you're on the right path, that your soul is being forged, that you're going through the process you need to go through. The problem is that most people don't understand this, and then they commit the fatal error that's capturing 99% of souls at this exact moment. What is this error? The search for spiritual comfort. Look around you in the modern spiritual world. There are a lot of people selling peace, selling love and light, selling the idea that spirituality is about feeling good all the time. Meditations to relax, positive affirmations to attract abundance, crystals to protect you from bad energies. And people buy all of this desperate for relief. for an escape from the suffering they're feeling. But Blavatsky warned over 100 years ago, the attempt to escape earthly struggle is exactly what traps souls in endless cycles of incarnation. You're not here to feel good. You're here to evolve. And evolution, especially on this planet, is uncomfortable. It's confronting your shadows. It's destroying the illusions you've built about yourself. It's accepting that everything you thought was true might be completely wrong. It's losing everything you cling to in order to discover who you are when you have nothing left. That's the work. And when you try to run from this seeking spiritual comfort, you're literally sabotaging your own purpose here. The true posture that separates those who evolve from those who remain stagnant is this: face the fire head on. Don't run, don't look for shortcuts, don't try to protect yourself. Dive completely into the human experience, no matter how brutal it is, and extract the learning from it. The souls that are truly evolving aren't those who are at peace all the time. They're those who are at war with themselves, destroying layers upon layers of programming and limitation, even when it hurts like they're being torn apart. Now, I know this is hard to hear, but you need to understand what's at stake here. What happens to those who don't pass this test? Blavatsky was absolutely clear about this. And the truth isn't pretty. Not everyone passes Earth's experiment. There are souls that simply can't. It's not a matter of moral judgment, of being good or bad. It's a matter of evolutionary strength. It's like a plant that can't grow in a specific soil. It's not the plant's fault. It just doesn't have the necessary structure for that environment. The souls that can't reach the necessary minimum in this cycle will be redirected. And when I say redirected, I'm not talking about going to a worse place in the sense of divine punishment. I'm talking about restarting in even more primitive conditions, possibly on other worlds that are in earlier stages of evolution, or in states of consciousness much more limited than even current humanity. Imagine having to go back to experiences of animal consciousness, or mineral or life forms so simple you can't even conceive them now. This isn't eternal condemnation. Eventually, after millions and millions of years, these souls will have another chance. But the cycle that's closing now, the opportunity that exists at this specific moment in Earth's history, this opportunity won't come back. We're talking about a cosmic window that opens once every many millions of years. And you're alive exactly now, at the moment when it's about to close. This is not a coincidence. You're here because at some level, you knew this was your chance. But the window is closing, and it's closing fast. Humanity doesn't have centuries ahead to decide whether it's going to evolve or not. Blavatsky revealed through the teachings she received from the masters that there is a cosmic deadline. And it's not an arbitrary deadline. It's not God marking a date on the calendar. It's a natural deadline based on planetary cycles, astrological cycles, consciousness cycles that are much bigger than Earth. Look around you. Can you feel that something is changing? I'm not just talking about climate crisis, political polarization, economic collapse. All of this is a symptom. What's really happening is an acceleration of planetary frequency. Earth is increasing its vibration, preparing to enter a new cycle. And everything that can't keep up with this new frequency will be left behind. It's like a train picking up speed. If you can't jump on it while it's still slow enough, you're going to miss it. The astrological configuration we're experiencing now hasn't happened for thousands of years. The age of Aquarius that people talk so much about isn't spiritual fad. It's a real alignment that completely changes the energies available on the planet. The global events you're seeing, the chaos, the accelerated transformation of everything, aren't random. They're signs that the experiment is coming to an end. The universe is separating the wheat from the chaff, testing each soul to see who can sustain themselves in the new frequency. And here's the question that matters. Are you doing what you need to do? Because look, most people aren't. Most are distracted with the same things as always. Work, relationships, financial problems, entertainment. They're living as if they had all the time in the world, as if nothing was really going to change. But time's up. The chance you have is now. Not tomorrow, not when you feel more prepared, not after you solve your problems. Now. What do you need to do? First thing, stop seeking comfort. Every time you feel like running from something difficult in your life, every time you want to numb yourself with distraction or seek temporary relief, stop. Recognize that this discomfort is exactly where your growth is. Dive into it. Second thing, question absolutely everything you believe about yourself. All your identities, all your attachments, all your certainties. None of this is real. They're just temporary constructions, and they're preventing you from seeing who you really are. Third thing, take total responsibility for your life. No matter what happened to you, no matter who hurt you, who betrayed you, who abandoned you, you're here now with the cards you have in your hand, and it's your responsibility to play the best game possible with them. No one's coming to save you. Not the masters, not your spirit guides, not the universe. You're the only one who can do the work. Fourth thing, look at your shadows. Everything you reject in yourself, everything you hide, everything you're ashamed of. This won't disappear because you ignore it. It grows in the dark and sabotages you in ways you can't even imagine. Bring everything to light. Face the internal monsters head on. And fifth thing, the most important, understand that this path is solitary. Not in the sense that you won't have anyone by your side, but in the sense that no one can do it for you. You can have teachers, you can have friends, you can have partners. But when push comes to shove, when you're face to face with your own limitations, with your own fear, with your own resistance to transformation, you'll be alone. And it's at that moment that you discover what you're really made of. Blavatsky lived this firsthand. She was ridiculed, attacked, misunderstood throughout her life. The teachings she brought were too revolutionary for the time, and they continue to be revolutionary to this day. But she didn't give up. She knew she had a mission, that she had knowledge that needed to be preserved for future generations. And look where we are now. More than 100 years after her death, the teachings remain alive, continue transforming people because they were true. You have that same strength within you. It doesn't matter how many times you fell, how many times you doubted, how many times you wanted to give up. The simple fact that you're here, watching up to this point, already shows that there's something in you that refuses to surrender. That part of you that seeks, that questions, that doesn't accept ready-made answers. That's your divine spark. It's the immortal part of you that knows there's more, that there always was more, and that won't stop until it reconquers the fullness of what you really are. Earth's experiment is at its end. The cycle is closing, the energies are changing, and you're in the middle of all this, in this body, in this life, at this exact moment. It's not about believing me, it's not about believing Blavatsky, it's not about believing any external teaching. It's about looking within and recognizing the truth that's already there. You already know all this. You just forgot. And every word that resonates with you isn't teaching you anything new. It's just reminding you of what you always knew. So the final question is, what are you going to do with this? Are you going to go back to normal life? Pretend you didn't hear any of this? Continue on autopilot? Or are you going to wake up for good, take on your role in this final experiment and do what needs to be done? Because look, there's no middle ground. Either you evolve consciously, or you're left behind unconsciously. Earth is accelerating, and whoever doesn't keep up will fall off the train. It's brutal, it's harsh, it's scary, but it's the truth. And you deserve to know the truth, even if it's not comfortable, especially because it's not comfortable. The truth is never easy, but it's the only thing that truly sets you free.